Hey, welcome everybody. So we'll give everybody a chance to sign on while I'm making a few last minute adjustments here. Get ready. As always, you guys just getting on. Don't forget, read the disclaimer. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. We are not registered investment advisors. We are not certified. Anything in this show should be taken as entertainment purposes only. Always consult a professional, okay, before making a money decisions. And just read the disclaimer, okay? It's a good habit to get into. Always read the disclaimer. A lot of times you guys will find out, while people are signing on, let's talk about this a little bit. A lot of times if you read the disclaimers, like you guys get these marketing emails and things like that. Read the disclaimer. Sometimes it's very enlightening. Oftentimes you'll see that whatever company they're talking about, they were paid in stock. Do you want to trust somebody who was paid by the company? It's kind of like having the fox in the hen house. But the disclaimer is always important. So like I said, while everybody's signing on, we'll just kind of talk about this stuff, which is disclaimers. Nobody likes to read the fine print, but it's important. Okay. So it looks like everybody's pretty much getting on. So let's go ahead and start the show, right? Mushy day today. Rough day for the markets, but a mushy day. We kind of had that sell down in the open, and it just kind of sat there and moved up a little, moved down a little. It was just chop all day. Not really a good trading day. It's a good positioning day, though. We took up a position. We went long on the spiders today, went about a week out, maybe about $1 out of the money. Those are looking okay right now. They're pretty much flat. They were up at 1.15%, but we were looking for more out of this, and it looks like we're going to get it. Right after the bell, Microsoft reported earnings. Very good earnings, too. And we were talking about this in the group. Now, see, that's why you need a good team behind you. Everybody in our group knew we were talking about how today started off as a soft day. It's at one point after lunch, it looked like it was going to push maybe green, right? That S&P. It got as low as about 4.5, 5 points off. But what happened was we had some comments come out that kind of hurt it. But during the day, we weren't panicking and stuff. We've got some contracts expiring tomorrow, which are just washed right now in banks. Banks had a rough day today, but we're still seeing a little potential there. Maybe we can squeeze out of the trade even, or not losing our whats, and we'll see how that works out. But we opened up a new trade today, and that trade's looking real good. Here's the other thing too. Remember this, you traders out there. When you're trading, you're gonna have losses. You're gonna have hits. And don't let those destroy you, okay? You see, like with our team and our service, what we did was we just get right back in there and we keep trading, right? Don't stop trading, okay? That's like you being in a heavyweight fight. The guy hits you a good one, and all you do is cower into a ball in the corner and just get pummeled. Don't do that, Keep swinging. Keep swinging. The fence doesn't move, right? It just looks farther. Anyways, that's the old sports analogy, right? When guys are on big hitting streaks, the ball just looks big to them, right? Well, when you start losing trades, it looks like the fence has moved another 100 feet, 100 to 200 feet. But it hasn't changed, okay? It's just that you've had a loss and you probably are a little discouraged. Might be a little emotionally beat down on it. Of course, the pocketbook hurts a little bit. But if you're a trader and you have a great plan and you know what you're doing, just keep your confidence and get right back on the horse and just keep trading. That's always great advice. So it was a little bit of a rough day for the market. You can see there, all three markets ended up grid. The Dow ended up down about 134 points. S&P ended up down about 11, and the NASDAQ, of course, about 30. So the small caps keep producing, right? They were up nice and green today. The Russell 2000 was up about 8 points. That's relatively flat for the Russell, though. Usually when you get a convincing move one way or the other, it's pretty significant. The VIX seems to be still telling the story to traders. Every time we get a downtick, if you guys watch message boards, whatever you do to kill your day, while you're trading, we like to, every now and then during the trading day, we'll pop into stock twits because that's one of the most popular message boards. Of course, I think Raging Bull still has a message board. Yahoo, I think, has message boards and stuff. But really, we think the main vein for sentiment for the traders like us, it's in StockTwits. So if you guys are looking for a website that you want to maybe just share some information, just talk to, uh, you can go to this one. Let me just pop this on here for you real quick, because this is good information, and that's all it is. It's just stocktwits.com, and it's just traders. Take it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of bashers and stuff on there, like any other message board, and it probably is the most popular message board around. So you got to take it with a little grain of salt. But so let's get back to the market. Okay, so Microsoft just released right before we came on camera, and that was why we bought that dip this morning. We bought that dip early because we figured during the day today, we knew it was going to be a little choppy to start, right? We're coming off that big Netflix miss. That just kind of, everybody expected the NASDAQ to just get damaged yesterday, but it fought back like a champ. But there was a little hangover on that, right? And we didn't really have too much earnings yesterday that really were convincing to the market. We had some big box earnings. We had IBM hit again, some components. But other than that, it was for tech, it was kind of a quiet morning. So we kind of foresaw a little bit of a push down in the market. And we decided last night as a trade team that we're going to pull this trigger when we got to the bottom of the dip. And we did. And so we're looking good on those trades. And there was a reason we did that. So we knew Microsoft was releasing after the bell, and we feel good about Microsoft. We've liked Microsoft for a while right now. Microsoft, very innovative. If you guys think back to 2000, when the internet was just getting going, and when cyber was becoming a commonplace in our lives, cell phones, smartphones, right? Remember back then? Everybody had those ugly little phones. We had graduated from those big phones to those ugly little phones. It was really, really the wild, wild west of the internet, cyber world. And, we've always liked Microsoft. And if you think back to that time, Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard, Dell, these were all your software companies, right? Some were box makers, some were software companies. But that was really the gist of it, right? And then as we advanced, we had things come out like cloud computing, right? Data storage became a big thing. And of course, we were talking about it this morning, Samuel and I, which is artificial intelligence. Where do you play artificial intelligence? I mean, we know Google's working on it. We know Apple's working on it. We know Microsoft is working on it. We know all these companies are working on it. But who's really making headway with it? Who's making it an investable proposition? Well, we like Microsoft, and we were talking with the office this morning, some of us from the trade team and some of the office, and they were asking because they keep seeing AI and everything, right? And so we were telling them, well, we're looking around, we're looking for something that maybe we can get a little deep into and hold for the long term. That's the way we'd like to play this. But if you want to play something quick, Microsoft is a good one, and they showed it in their earnings. So we bought in that dip this morning because we were looking to turn over on the gap tomorrow morning. So we need a gap, right? So we need a catalyst for a gap. We are thinking it was Microsoft. We're also going to get some earnings tomorrow before the bell. We've got GE, we've got Honeywell, Schlumberger. Then Monday we'll have Google. We'll have the big ones: Google, Halliburton. Tuesday we got 3M, Bib, who's Biogen, the big biotech. That might be a hint for biotech stocks going forward and stuff. But let's get back to Microsoft. So we were figuring Microsoft was going to hit big, and they did. We're waiting for the forward guidance on the conference call, which should shoot it up even higher. It's up pretty good after hours. We can get you a little quote here while we're talking, but that's what we were expecting. Now, remember, anytime you have a trade, we always talk about this, right? You guys as traders, you should have a plan. You have an entry plan, you have an exit plan, you have a contingency plan. What if something goes wrong? Or that was our entry plan. You see, we had decided it last night. We liked Microsoft. We knew they were reporting after the bell. We felt good about this earnings report. We even felt better about what we think they're going to be saying on the conference call. And a lot of that had to do with their AI development and their cloud development, which we'll talk about in a second. But what happened was, so we decided to make an entry plan. We felt like the S&P was going to have a nice dip this morning. So at the bottom, we wanted to try and call the bottom of that dip and buy our stock there. Now we did, and we got everybody in, and the whole services should be in by now, because during the day it looked like we were going to get that nice push. We were down to about a little over 4 points down on the S&P. What happened? Well, Donald Trump came out. He had done an interview, and he kind of said something about interest rates. He wasn't happy that we're raising interest rates so quickly. Now, the media, of course, took this as being a signal that he is undermining the Fed and that he's attacking the Fed and stuff. But really, let's remember, Jerome Powell is Trump's choice for Fed chairman. He has a lot of confidence in Jerome Powell. This was probably just a tongue-in-cheek observation that, maybe Donald Trump doesn't like the interest rates. He didn't say much more than that. So, of course, the media jumped all over it. And so we looked like we were going to rally there at about 2:30, and then it just kind of came back down. But the market held its lunch also, too. So the people in our service that maybe didn't get into that play early enough, and it started to move away, guess what? It came right back into that price. So everybody should be in. So like we said, we went long on the spider today, and a lot of it was for Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, getting back to that, what it is like we said, we were talking to the office about AI and stuff. They made big gains in AI. They had some good revenue based on AI. But the big thing was their cloud computing. Their cloud computing was up 80%, over 80% their sales. Isn't that incredible? Sounds like it's going to be a good quarter going forward, right? So let's see how that forward guidance goes. If that forward guidance is good and Microsoft really starts picking up, remember, it's a Dow component, it's an S&P stock, it's a NASDAQ stock. So that thing is going to float the boat. And we're counting on that for a gap up tomorrow morning. Now, of course, as we always say, past performance is no indicator of future performance. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but that's how we set it up. And that's important for you guys to understand. Every time you buy and sell it, make a trade, have an entry plan, an exit plan, and contingency plan. Don't just be watching your charts and say, oh, I just want to buy that. No. Have a plan. Have a plan. Okay, so let's kind of continue. Yeah, so that statement from Trump came out, and it kind of disturbed the market. Look, all it's been for 2 or 3 days is that Trump's destroying the world. I don't know. The world's still going. Markets are still up. What? We're checking. We're kind of curious this morning, so we're checking. Since the election, more than half the stocks are up 20%. How's that? So he hasn't killed the markets. He hasn't killed the economy. We also got an unemployment report today, right? 48 and a half years since it's been this low. Good job. Good job. Look, if you guys want to bash him, bash him. If you guys want to support him, support him. But when good things happen, be happy, okay? Because good things like unemployment reports and things like that, it helps us all, okay? We all are Americans. We all want to succeed. Now, the other big news today, Comcast. Man, Comcast gave up its bid on Fox News, right? So, or Fox, whatever it is, Fox, it's the stock, the company. And, Fox News is just a small part of that. But so Comcast gave up on Fox. So if you guys are kind of looking for a trade here, we always like to try to throw out ideas, whether we're trading them or not. And Comcast might be one of them. This is 3 in a row that Comcast has missed, right? They were going to bid on Disney. They were going to bid on something else. And then I thought I put a note here, but they were going to bid on Disney. They were going to bid on someone else. And then they tried to bid on Fox, and all 3 of them, they failed. What's going on at Comcast, right? If you're a player in that, or if you're a long player in that, you might want to check it out, because there's something wrong with that. M&A. You guys will hear this term all the time. What does M&A mean, right? What does M&A mean? You hear it all the time. It means mergers and acquisitions. It's condensation. It's it's sectors consolidating. It's good. Businesses are streamlining their balance sheets. The small fish are getting gobbled up by the big fish, which is not always a bad thing. I know if you're a progressive or something, it's always a bad thing when a big company eats a small thing, but it's not, because the big company has the resources to do the things with this technology that these smaller companies have. So it's a good thing, right? And it's consolidation. M&A is important. It's critical, especially to a company that's long on tooth like Comcast. It wasn't just started when the internet got big and stuff. So you know, this is 3 M&A opportunities in a row they miss. That might be a trading idea there, but it's fun to watch, right? So there's just nothing else to talk about during the day today, right? So what does the media go to? The trade war, right? Their favorite go-to subject when there's just nothing else to bitch about. Trade war, nothing's changed. We have the list that China has. We have China's list. According to the administration, the negotiations with Mexico are going very well. Contrary to what you're hearing in the media, the mainstream media. But, you know, it seems like that's going well. We know Trump wants to work something out with Germany and especially Britain, because he's going to try and use that deal with Britain to leverage against the rest of the European Union. You know, there's just a lot going on with trade talk. This is not even close to resolution. This is just the beginning of the event. So don't you guys don't get panties bundled up there, because it's just not. It's early, and nothing really bad has happened. So let's just kind of let the administration do their thing. All right. So, like we were talking about, you know, we went along on the spiders today on a real short trade. You know, hopefully we cash that out tomorrow. Microsoft hit. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about money. So, you know, we always talk about it on the show, right? It's you know, all this stuff. You know, we talk about trade systems. We talk about trade habits. We talk about trade plans, everything. We talk all this stuff. But really, you know, one thing that we always talk about, and this is whether it's in public discussions or not, it's before you even make that first trade, it's so important that you have your head on straight and you have this plan. You want to build yourself into a trader. You know, Manny Pacquiao, the famous boxer, right? The day he stepped into the ring, he didn't just get in the ring and start knocking people out, right? Before he ever got in that first fight, he trained. He was teaching himself to be a winning fighter. Same thing with trading stocks, and this is so important. Before you even make that first trade, you have to train yourself to be a winning fighter. And that's so important. But that all starts with this. If you don't get serious about your money, you will never have serious money. Okay? If you don't get serious about your money, you will never have serious money. How many people do you know that might have a little savings? They might have a little this, maybe a little that, but they're just not really serious. I mean, good enough is good enough, right? There's just no even urge. You want to get serious about your money, then you have to get serious about you. Okay. And that's why we chose this saying today. Like we said, before you even take that first trade, before you even make that first trade, before you even look at a chart, just like a world champion, Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady, anybody, even your great entertainers, before they get on that stage, before they get on that football field, before they throw that first punch, they've spent all this time making themselves into whatever they want to be successful at. It's the same thing with trading. Nobody just opens a portfolio, starts making trades, and makes $1 million or even builds wealth, right? But that all starts with, if you don't get serious about your money, you'll never have serious money. Good enough is good enough. Scraping paycheck to paycheck is good enough. You haven't gotten serious about your money. What means you got serious about your money? Well, that's the day that you say, look, I am going to do what it takes to manage my money and put my money to work for you. You see, there's phases of that, right? At first, you got to get serious about your money to make some serious money. Then you got to make some serious decisions, right? What kind of trader are you? Who are you? Where do you find help with that, right? I mean, it's such a big world out there. It's a crazy world out in finance, and you guys know it. You know, if you do need a little help, you got a little link there. But other than that, let's kind of review before we cut the show. I'll go down and check the comments. You know, it's kind of you can always tell too by our comments what kind of day it was, right? It was kind of a boring, lethargic day, right? We're just stuck in that rut. And everybody's kind of tired after that, or they're just over it, right? Let's just let it go, come back tomorrow. So it was a rough day for the markets. We saw that we ended up red on the three markets, small caps still looking good. What we noticed too, and what also too is part of our entry plan going into the spider trade, was the VIX. The VIX is still below 13. And that's really low. That's crazy low. Especially for us traders, guys that have been trading the market for decades. This is just crazy low. But guess what? It's one of our signals that, this might be this is not a big sell-off and stuff. And, you see a big sell-off, you're going to see that VIX go up 25, 30, maybe even 40, 50%. It's going to be traumatic when that finally happens, when the day Ron Paul is right. But trust me, when Ron Paul is right, we'll be right there with him. I like that. So Trump versus the Fed, Trump kind of made those comments in that interview where he's talking about interest rates, and he said he doesn't like raising interest rates, which makes sense, right? Hey, the guy's a real estate guy, right? He hates interest rates. He's trained for that. Of course, the media kind of turned it into a big political football and, a direct threat of the Fed. But again, remember, Powell is Trump's choice. And Powell is also a very, very good choice. I think any of you agree with me. I don't think there's anybody out there that'll disagree about Jerome Powell being the Fed chairman. What's her name? The one before. I'm so sorry. But, she did a good job, right? She kind of guided us through that economic sell down and stuff. She got that balance sheet a little loaded, but she did it just right. We teetered there for a while, but she really hit it right. And she passed the baton to Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is handpicked by Trump. He's a genius guy. Yellen. Thank you, Marco. It's so much information in a trading day. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I just get a little brain fart. But then they wrote it over to Jerome Powell, and Yellen was a holdout from Obama, and I think before Obama too. But you got to remember, Obama was in charge for 8 years. That's a long time. And when he took over, we were at that bottom of that economic barrel. And he brought in Yellen. I think it was him who brought in Yellen. And if he didn't, but he, they managed it really well. Give credit where credit's due. Again, we say, just like with Trump, with Obama, whether you like him or not, he did a good job with that. It was a difficult situation, and really he did set a good plate for future presidents. So we always give a back pat when it's deserved. Okay. So, we think that whole Fed thing, that whole media storm today is just blown out of proportion, just like the treason and stuff. It's funny. We'll make one comment about the treasonous accusations. You see all these guys, Brennan and stuff, calling Trump treasonous and stuff. Let's all remember, in 2012, these same people were in charge, and they were warned by Mitt Romney. They decided to ridicule him. In 2016, they got bit on the ass, right? And now all of a sudden in 2018, it was somebody who was not even a part of the administration. He was just a candidate's fault. So let's keep shoes on the right feet, okay? When we make this debate. And again, let's give Trump a chance. He is the president of the United States. Like him or not like him, our success is his success. And then Comcast too. If you guys are looking for some trade ideas, right? Maybe Comcast, they just screwed up another M&A opportunity, and there might be something wrong in that company, man. Nobody wants them to buy it. Anyways, and then the trade war talk. The trade war talk probably only crept into the news cycle because there just wasn't anything else to talk about. Not till about 2:30 when that interview came out with Trump. Okay, gang? So look, let's kind of scroll through the questions. Just a lot of hellos. You guys, thank you so much for joining. We always appreciate it, But, Microsoft just hit. So the team, we're going to kind of jump on and listen to that conference call. We'll get a Bank of America. I don't know. We're not even watching it aftermarket. Aftermarket Bank of America is insignificant, unless it's an earnings day for them. Aftermarket, for the most part, unless you're getting an earnings report or you're a biotech and you've gotten some kind of bad report or good report, after hours market pretty much means nothing nowadays. It means almost nothing. Okay. So really, a lot of our stocks, we don't watch aftermarket. Bank of America, whatever it does overnight anyways, isn't going to help or hurt us because we can't trade it, right? We're in options. Had we owned the stock, which we actually do. We do own a bunch of the stock. But that kind of stuff, we don't even bother. Remember what we tell you guys, okay? Remember what we tell you guys. Enjoy your life, okay? You put that hard 8.5, 9 hours into the trading day. You bust your butt, man, to make some money and maybe to help your family, put some food in their bellies. Then it hits 4 o'clock and that bell rings and the market's closed. Unless you got something really important going on in that market, like, we wanted to watch some Microsoft report. Guess what? Took about 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes after the bell, Microsoft reported. Now we might jump on the conference call. Look, if not, maybe we'll just read the transcript later. But like we always say, you guys enjoy your life, okay? Enjoy your life, man. Like a Bank of America and stuff, man, don't worry about it. Look, it could be up $5 after market and open tomorrow down 50 cents. That's the way those stocks go. We've seen that happen too much too. So look, you guys have a great afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow. We want to go to check off that conference call. We'll post a link to that conference or the transcript. When it's done, we'll post a link to the transcript just in case anybody who's watching the show wants to check that out. But here's kind of the sum of their earnings report. Their AI, their cloud computing, their sales, just phenomenal. So now we want to hear what's going on going forward for the next quarter, right? Because that's what you're buying. Remember, when you buy today, you're buying for the valuation for tomorrow. But let's just real quick give you a little quote here from Microsoft. Okay. Of course, we use the free one, so all the ads pop up. Microsoft after hours is up about 60 cents, about 0.5%. So let's see how that conference call goes, and we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, gang? So you guys have a great afternoon. Remember, live your life, enjoy. If you don't get serious about your money, you will never have serious money. That's so important. You know what I mean? Listen, guys. You guys tune into the show. You tune it in for the fun comments. Sometimes I say some crazy things. You tune in for the great information. We always give great information, great ideas, stuff like that. But look, ultimately, what we always tell you is if you want to make money, you got to get serious about your money. Get serious about your money, regardless of what you do. Just get serious about your money and go make some real money. Okay. The other thing about the Microsoft before we close is, look, we had that Netflix miss, right? And it's just been kind of black cloud over the market. Every time the tick thing ticks down, people bring up Netflix. So maybe a good Microsoft report and a nice conference call going forward. Remember, tomorrow before the bell, we got GE and Honeywell on Schlumberger, which is a massive stock, a massive global stock. But GE is a big one because remember, GE just went through all these big problems, right? And it's one of the most widely held retirement stocks out there, and people live and die on that dividend. Tomorrow's conference call for GE is going to be big. We looked at long and hard at GE a couple times over the last 2 days, and it's just too much of a crapshoot to make a bet on it right now. But it'll be interesting to see what they say tomorrow, and we'll fill you in at the show tomorrow after the market. Okay, so gang, you guys have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow after the market. It was, for a choppy day, it was a fun day. We always have fun in our trading group. You guys want to have fun with us? Come on over and join. Other than that, have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.